Hamado, Principal of the International Macrobiotics School. I'm here at our residential school in the south of Devon, in the southwest of England. So greetings to you today. In this talk, I want to talk about individualized medicine. This is a term which has started being used by Western medicine in the last kind of maybe 5 years. They're saying that if they could tailor, in particular if they could tailor certain drugs to certain people, then the drugs could be more effective, the Western treatment could be more effective, which on the surface sounds like a good thing. I find it, I also find it quite amusing, because what I see happening repeatedly is that modern Western medicine and science, which I have a lot of respect for, as well as see a lot of disadvantages of, keeps making these discoveries, which actually have been present in various forms of traditional medicine for hundreds or thousands of years. So in my study and practice of macrobiotics, which rests on Oriental medicine, actually individualized medicine has been practiced for thousands of years. Oriental medicine and other in-depth systems, Ayurveda, for example, has ways of understanding how to, well, medicine is just always individual, because we're all different. Even if we all have the same problem, then we may need to make some different changes in our food, lifestyle, diet, etc., in order to heal ourselves. So these traditional forms of medicine have always been individualized. In order to practice this individualized medicine, the first thing we need is to be able to work out what is happening in the body. That is different to everybody else. So in Western medicine, we have a lot of different methods of working out what's happening in the body. Blood tests can show a lot. We have X-rays, scans, ultrasound, and so on. Barium meals, etc., to find out what's going on in the body. Sometimes these can be very useful. If, for example, a blood test may find that we've got iron deficiency anemia, we take more iron and then we feel much better. These Western tests can be useful, but there's a lot of things which they don't show. Some people come out of Western tests and say that everything seems to be fine, but people are feeling really ill with low energy or different kinds of health problems. So this is where Oriental medicine and macrobiotic medicine can be really, really useful. So traditionally, in the Orient, they didn't, East and West developed differently. The West has developed much more technologically and making machines and so on to measure things. In the East, they were very astute in seeing what was happening to someone's health and then looking for signs on the outside of a person to give signs of what is happening inside the body. And Oriental medicine developed a whole series of different methods of understanding what is happening inside of us, which we could call Oriental health reading or Oriental diagnosis. And the big advantage of these is that we can learn these for ourselves. Macrobiotics is very keen on self-education, on enabling people to look after their own health rather than needing to keep coming and seeing experts. So these methods of Oriental health reading are very easy to learn to use yourself. We teach them on a lot of our courses, particularly the online six Steps to Wellbeing course, our residential 5-day Looking After Your Health course, and even more so on our training courses such as the 1-year Holistic Nutrition and Cooking course. We study a lot of these different methods. They're divided into different kinds. Visual methods, when things change inside our body, different areas of the face, which relate to different organs, kidneys, heart, intestines, lungs, reproductive organs, etc. We can read these different features to give us some idea of what's happening in the body. Also, whatever skin colour we naturally have, this can change a little bit. It can be darker, lighter, redder, greener, etc., according to changes inside the body. We can also look at people's hands, which change different colours, become more puffy, red, swollen, shrunken, etc. We can look at people's feet. The fingers and toes can change shape. This is all reflecting what is happening inside the body. This is all based on holistic medicine, where if we want to understand the whole, we can look at the part. We can look at the hands to understand what's happening in the body. We can also look in the whites of the eyes to understand what's happening in the whole body. Iridology looks at the iris in order to understand what's happening to the body. We can look at the feet. We can look at the tongue. We can look at the ear. We can look at people's posture. We can look at how people move. We all have different ways of moving. How we move depends a lot on how the energy is flowing in the body and what is happening with different organs and on our internal health. So there's a lot that we can see visually. We can also touch the body to find out more about what's happening in the body. Acupuncturists feel the pulses. This is a very developed art, but we can use this in a very simple way to feel what is happening in different organs. We also on our training courses, we learn to work with the meridians. We do Do-in and Shiatsu on the meridians, the acupuncture Shiatsu meridians. And we can feel these. Oh, my lung meridian is really empty. No wonder I'm getting these breathing problems. I need to boost my lung energy, and then maybe these breathing problems or hay fever are going to get better. There's also different areas of the abdomen that relate to different organs, different back areas that relate to different organs. There's different systems that we can measure get an idea of what's happening inside the body. Also, people's voice varies according to their internal health. Their smell can vary according to their internal health. And then, of course, we can also listen to people and hear how they're feeling, what physical things are going on, what symptoms they have, what's happening emotionally, mentally, etc. And any one of these methods gives us some information, but rather partial. When we learn half a dozen, or maybe even on our training courses, 15, 20 different methods of diagnosis, then we can become more and more accurate in knowing what is happening with our internal health. So this is the first step, to have ways of knowing really what is happening with our internal health. Oh, my liver's getting congested. I'm holding a lot of tension here. My stomach is this. I've got an imbalance in my lung energy, which is creating some breathing symptoms and hay fever and so on. So it's really getting to know our body well. Then the second thing we need to know how to change our health. So let's say we're suffering from some respiratory allergies. We get hay fever. We also react to house dust, house mites, cat hairs, etc. In Oriental medicine, we may see this in visual diagnosis quite often. When people have hay fever and allergies, there's some redness across here and maybe across here. In the facial diagnosis, the cheeks relate to the lung energy. We may see some pinkness or spots or things happening on the cheeks. We may also see a change of posture, such as the shoulders coming forwards, the chest becoming more hollow. The breathing may be rather shallow, more up here and not coming down here. And people may be complaining of suffering allergies and hay fever and so on. So these in Oriental medicine would all be related to a lung imbalance. Macrobiotic understanding then tells us, well, what can we do to help our lungs? There's certain foods that are going to help, certain drinks that can help, certain exercises that are going to help. We can work on our lung meridian. Also, we need to look into certain emotions, because there's There's an emotional, mental, spiritual aspect to the lungs. The lungs are, have a lot to do with our exchange of energy with other people. This is to our relational energy. If we are struggling in our relational energy to create relationships and to relate to people, then this can have an impact on our lungs. If we've had previous bad experiences, traumas in our life around relating, then we may be holding these in our lungs still. Also, this is where we hold grief. If we lose someone or a pet or something that is dear to us, then we tend to hold grief in the lungs, which can then suppress our breathing and create imbalance. So, macrobiotic understanding enables us to make all these different links and then make some positive changes to help strengthen the lungs, bring them back into balance. And then gradually the allergies get less, hay fever gets less. I've seen many people heal their hay fever over 1, 2, 3 years through making dietary and other changes. So we need these two aspects: to be able to measure our health, to understand our health, and then also know how to change it. And then the third thing we need to do is just to have that awareness that we're observing our health all the time. And if we spot that, oh, my kidney energy is getting low, or my breathing's being affected, something's happening with my digestion, we figure out what is happening with my health using these methods of Oriental health reading, and make some adjustments to bring ourselves back into health, and then those symptoms go, and we're also protecting ourselves long term from developing serious or life-threatening health problems. So for me, this is worked well. I've experimented on. This is what I do all the time, not obsessively, but this is how I look after my own health since I discovered macrobiotics 43 years ago. A few particular benefits that I've experienced from this approach. When I started macrobiotics at the age of 24, I was beginning to get short-sighted, having to sit at the front in the cinemas. I think another couple of years I would need glasses. Actually, over the first 6-9 months, my short-sightedness gradually got better. Every time I drank beer or ate a lot of fruit or a lot of yin foods, they would go back again. But as I ate a more balanced diet and some more healthy yang foods, my eyesight gradually got better, and I am blessed by still not needing to wear glasses. And I'm 66 at the moment, and I probably save myself thousands of pounds and probably weeks of looking for lost glasses. So I feel really blessed. I remember getting flu shortly before I got into macrobiotics, a week feeling really ill in bed, about 3 weeks dragging myself around feeling tired. Macrobiotics, I think, is a very good way of strengthening our immune system. I've not had flu since in the last 43 years. I don't feel I need to have flu jabs because I don't get flu anyway. And that's probably saved me months of lying in bed feeling miserable and then dragging myself around feeling exhausted. We really can strengthen our immune system a great deal and make it unusual that we pick up colds and other infections by strengthening our body, and one aspect of our body is our immune system. So I've had very little use of doctors in the last 40 years. I've been twice for a couple of minor things. Once to confirm that my martial arts instructor had cracked several of my ribs. The other time, very early on, was when I developed a really bad headache and didn't quite know how to get out of it myself, and went along and got a prescription for a very strong painkiller, which I was amazed just got rid of it very quickly. And I think those have been my only visits to doctors. So this can really work. What it takes is learning and education and taking responsibility for our health. And this is what we do at the International Macrobiotic School with online courses and residential courses here at the school in Devon. If you really want to gain some mastery over your health and really learn how you can promote your health, enjoy good health, and greatly reduce your chances of developing more serious, degenerative, life-threatening illnesses, then please check our courses out. If your 6 Steps online course, 5-day Looking After Your Health course are great ways to start. If you want to dive in deep, then our 9-month, roughly 30 days of learning holistic nutrition and cooking course will really give you a lot of tools, and people often experience a lot of some big improvements in their health while doing that course. Thank you very much for listening. I hope this has been useful, and if I can be of help, it would be great to see you.